Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2019, Pro Cyclist Classics Rider, episode number 9. We open this episode with a quick update on our contract situation for next season. So we're going to jump into the contract page and we're going to see where we're at. So, Wallonie, still in the red, you can see as of right now. But it's definitely better than it was a month ago when we first opened up. You can see how many teams have already jumped into the yellow category. In that sense, we're definitely looking better. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the contacts of interest with Wallonie. And while it's still red, see it's now getting very close to the edge of going yellow. And I would hope that we can get enough results over the course of this month that we can get them at least into yellow before the end of May. And then that'll give us time for June, July to try to get that up towards green. Also, it's an opportunity to change the calendar. However, I don't have a lot of points available, and I'd rather have those carry over into next season. So for now, we will stick with the schedule that is given to us, and we're going to move forward in the calendar. I can see we're still short of level 7, but we're getting a lot closer. Welcome to La Flèche Ardennaise, 167 kilometer race, and we're still very early in this one. We're only about a quarter of the way through the stage. But the biggest climbs of the day, top 4, are all coming up over the next little bit. So we're going to go quickly through that, but we'll see what happens in the field as we do so. Slow down if necessary. And then we get into the finishing sequence of climbs that are much shorter, but also much punchier. And from that, they have myself picked as the favorite. So we enter this race as the favorite. Ironically, the second favorite in the field is one of my team members in my career mode series, Odd Christian Eiking. So that's who we're going up against in this one, and knowing how he is as a rider, based on having him, I would definitely think that at least compared to him, not necessarily everyone in the field, but at least compared to him, yeah, I should be able to beat him. As we now enter the first climb, this is uphill. You can see from down here, the road below, that we are definitely heading upward. We're at about 6 degrees right now as we are starting to level off as we head over the top, and down we go. So first climb, no damage done field, just cruising along. We got a 4-minute lead for the breakaway group of 5 riders. It's the next climb, though, that definitely looks, well, the double climb, the secondary part of the double climb, that looks like it's going to do the most damage, as the climb is a lot more intense. Same amount of elevation change, but in a much shorter distance to make that elevation change. But here you can see the finishing sequence, that looping course that we're going to go through 4 times. That's a good little climb. That's punchy and just long enough for someone like myself to definitely get away. Now the trick will be determining whether to get away early or get away late, and probably, considering how I am as a rider, it's going to need to happen late. But as we've gone over top the first time of this double climb here, you can see there's actually already damage done in the field as we head up the second time. Let's see just how steep it is here, as we are over 10 degrees of elevation change right now. So it is definitely steep. And for me, well, I'm only a 64 in the mountains. Not my strong suit. It's the hills. It's the punchiness. It's attacking that final climb where I will be strong. I need to have some team support in the meantime. And luckily, as I'm the favorite to win the race, I have team support. In fact, I have total team support. Very happy to have it. because that could very much make the difference, especially with a -1 race day condition. Not that it affects me a whole lot here. -1 on the flat, on the downhill, and in the resistance. That's the only area where it's going to affect me at all. So it's not good, but it could be a whole lot worse. Peloton did split, but it's already starting to come back together. Back up to 90 riders now. Others may not make it back, but there's not a lot of pace in the field just yet, as we are still just shy of the halfway point in the stage. We're going to speed this back up to ×8 for a little bit, and let's get out of this crazy view that we're in at the moment, seeing that. And we'll see the smaller group in the breakaway. By the way, there are more riders off the front now. It's not just the 5. There are 3 riders giving chase. So they're being joined right now. Merlier among them. There's Vandertook, one of my teammates in the other series, at least from the first season. Those guys are all attacking each other on that climb, so even though there's no mountain points available, they are already pushing to try to be the one going away. Speaking of, there is Decathlon, also another one of the teammates. That's the team that I rode for in the first season in my Stage Racer series for Pro Cyclist Mode. Of course, this is our Classics rider, and this one we're finding a little bit more success much earlier on. Now, as we've gone over the next climb, Peloton has split again. This time we're down to 48 riders, and not sure if it's all going to come back together. It looks like 17 anyway are going to join back on. 17 behind that might get back up there. Koenig and Schupa, now Whippert and Whitehouse rejoining the fray. Alright, here we go. Next time, next climb, last of the big climbs of the day. I'm doing just fine here. Teammates, not so good. If I lose them early, this could be a dangerous finish. We're down to just the 1 rider off the front, and he's only a little bit ahead. Decline, and you can see the bobbing and weaving of the shoulders. He definitely won't last, but the Peloton is at 48 riders now, as we've cleared the top and are descending. I would think those 5 will probably get back on. The 12 might, but beyond that, that might be it, especially with the climbs coming. We still have 1 more shorter but steep climb before we head on to the finishing circuit. But I've already recovered. Koenig, Schupa, Whitehouse trying to recover. Whitehouse really is still just trying to get up through the field back into a decent position. Peloton's sitting at 65 riders, and I think that might be it, but the time is coming down to the 9 giving chase. Koenig and Whitehouse already participating in the train at the front, and here we go, onto this climb. We're out to 1:18 on decline, so that really shows just how much we let up, but look how fast that's coming down. I mean, we pulled back 30 seconds in just a moment there. That was the last of the climbs outside of the circuit. From here on forward, we will be into that circuit. I've got Schupa on protection. Koenig, Whitehouse, they don't have much energy left, but that is okay. We're getting down to it. 35K now. Decline nearly pulled back in. Those 9 riders now left in the dust, 2.5 minutes down. So this is it. 65 riders. They'll be taking it. This is the climb. 10 degrees. And let's see. We started at about 31.7, I think. I'm guessing on that one. I wasn't looking exactly when we started. 31.7, and it was about where we started. It's starting to ease up a little bit after 1K. But still going uphill, now starting to flatten out. And we're going to finally top out here at 2 kilometers and then 1K to the finish. So it's about a 2-kilometer climb and then a 1K finish, essentially on the flat. That 1K, that's easy enough. The 2-kilometer climb is more than enough distance for me to get away as long as I still have some energy, and that's the final 3K of the race. I can definitely win it if I'm in the right position. I don't necessarily need a lead out, but if I have one rider left, namely Shupa, I'll be good. With 3 times still to go over the climb, though, I think Whitehouse and Kuning, they might get dropped this next time through. There's not a lot of pace at the moment, though. Tempted to try to thin the group out to isolate other riders, but I'm not necessarily sure that's a good thing. Wow, their pace is completely gone out of the group. I mean, the chase group is pulling back 3, 4, 5 seconds at a time. Here we go. It's the next time. This is pretty short, actually.
It looks like the pack has bitten the dust collectively, but the riders would seem to be okay to carry on.
Chrome trying to attack here. That is leaving some riders behind. Two times to go, and the peloton has shrunk to 28 riders. Shupa is still here. I would actually rather have Shupa here.
What's going on? Several riders are flat on the ground. Certainly some sort of incident.
Kuning, you're done. Just relax. Shupa, give me some quick recovery here. We did reel that guy in, and the gap opened up behind us. The 9 riders lost. And others on the verge, falling off the back. It looks like they have. They were completely out of energy. Otherwise, they would not have fallen off. Back on for now, but they definitely won't last this next time up. Oh, Whitehouse is back on. He was in that group. Oh, those guys are setting up. Their day is done, huh? Sorry, I'll sit up for you. Goes Chrome again.
And he moves on to the attack. It could be decisive.
Not too worried about Chrome. Especially after all the effort he spent the last time. There's no way he recovered from that. Under 10K to go. Chrome. Peloton shrunk 21 riders. And Chrome, make that 36. So still some yo-yoing, but we're going to go at about 7K on our gel, or 6.5 maybe. There we go. Okay. Settle the difference. Now, how far do we have to go as we get a ride in the car? Let's see. 3K downhill. That's good for Shupa. Shupa needs to get out front. We're going to set this up here. Not 99, but I want you to get out front. Is 88 enough to do that? It is. Good. I don't want to burn your energy. I just want to be in front. So if this is enough to do it, then it's enough to do it. Here we go. On to the uphill. Now he's going to start pushing.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
Push his 99.
Survival of the fittest, and evolution doesn't seem to favor those in the rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
Okay, my gel's kicked in. That's I-King right there. And he's given it everything he's got. He's exposed. But we're almost to the top, so I need to go. Maybe not 99, though. 3 riders off the front here. I'm definitely lasting a little bit longer.
And there goes the mad burst for the final
Sprint. Yeah, let's do it. He's got nothing left. He's got no attack. We got it.
Great stuff.
For the win.
Really paid off, and their sprinter brings home the bacon.
Hucker takes second. Iking takes third. De Klerk takes fourth. Chrome got fifth. That's why he kept pushing. He was a edge of top 10 kind of guy, trying to shake it up, do something. Shupa took 16th. So there you go. There's my 5th win now. It was a good one. I thought I wasn't pushing enough there for a little bit, but that was not the case. Iking was pushing too hard, and he dead himself in. I saved some energy. I was just off his wheel there for a little bit, and then I did have to let up some at the end, but he had nothing left. So for me to let up some and just push some was enough to actually open the gap a little. A little bit relieved on that because it looked there for a moment that he was definitely the stronger, better in form. I mean, I did have that -1.
Now for the best moments of the day.
Let's see just how much we spread the field out on that last climb. How much of a gap I was able to open, and Iking just wallowing in despair as I rode away from him, and he actually rode himself into 3rd place instead of 2nd. Somehow we're on same time, but I'm not worried about that. It's not a stage race. Victory is a victory. The sad part is they expected me to win, so as an expected winner, I actually don't earn a lot of points or manager respect, as we're just living up to expectations. We have opened the floodgates on our fitness peaks, so that is coming along. Quick apology, my pronunciation on this is probably going to be awful and not even close, but we're at stage 1 of the Tour de Eure-et-Loire. Sorry, French. I get some of it. I understand pronunciation here and there, but some of it is still beyond me. I've never been formally trained in French at all. I learned a couple words in high school because I very briefly dated someone who was taking French. And then, other than that, my only exposure all these years has ultimately been the Tour de France and other major French races. The other major French races have really only started being shown in the U.S. in the last couple of years. Anyway, it's a 3-stage race. 2 stages are sprints. I've got nothing happening on those, but I actually have a chance to win this race. Reason for it is this almost completely flat stage that ends in a not-so-flat way. That finish is both punchy and cobbled, meaning I should have a significant advantage on the finishing climb for this stage. So let's go ahead and resume our position within the peloton, and with just 12k to go, I've got to decide kind of how I want to attack this. I keep debating in my own mind whether I should take a couple lead out guys and just attack the final few kilometers and go full blast and try to be to the front with myself fresh and then hit that climb in the best position, or whether to put some herding in on the field and try to leave riders behind. Well, you can see from the fact that we're down to inside 9k and I'm still here, I think you might be able to tell where I'm at on that decision. So I'm going to go 99, and I'm going to take Sweeney, who looks to be good on the hills. So we're going to set him here to 99, and I'll follow him. And I know Shupa is as well. So, well, well, as in he's a 67 today. But he's in the right position, at least. So is a 79 enough? Wow, that's already enough to bring him to the front? Okay, well, we'll keep him there for now. I've got to keep an eye on my kilometers because just inside, well, right about 5, like normal, I suppose. I need to push. Oh, hi. Here comes Gate. Gate wants to get in on the show. How about we do this? You're going to ease off, and we're going to now follow Gate. And Gate, with 6K to go, you're going to accelerate hard. Going to do what I wanted to do initially. 5.4. Let's go. There you go. Use my gel. Gate accelerating very hard, and we're already closer than I thought. Can he sprint from here? Because that uphill is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Oh, I can't sprint with him at all? Or is it the distance? Well, he's got the acceleration, so he's a lot faster than these other guys are. But I think I need to move up as I'm already down to 2.9K. So let's see if I can move up a wheel. Sweeney, get out of the way. There you go. 2.3K. We're going to turn that corner here in a second. Gate's done. So Shupa. It's your turn.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
And here I go. 1K to go. I think that's a good time. There's the cobble. Oh, that's a weak cobble section. Sprint! Sprint away. Open a little gap, maybe. Time gap probably not going to happen, but maybe based on the profile. Got the win. Quite easily, actually. Oh, Sweetie took second. There on the left-hand side, Sweeney took second. Didn't see him, but that's cool. Kumbaut took third. Muller took fourth. Henink took fifth. Fernandez de la Place. Ede in 10th. Jan Barta is here as well. Nice little 1-2 to open things up. I doubt I'll get any sort of time gap. I think it's too small. Oh, I did get a time gap. 11 seconds, actually. So that puts me 15 clear of my teammate, 17 of Kumbaut, 19 of Alafaci, and then 21 to everybody else. That's cool. I like it. I like it. We very well could win this race now with 2 stages to go and 20 seconds available to those 2 winners. Well, I think it's looking pretty good. Puncher, not a sprinter. So, yeah, it looks like we could be taking the overall for this one. Stage 2, sprint stage. I'm just going to go ahead and do that off camera. I'll see you back at the later point of stage number 3. Okay, so I lied. We're on stage number 2. On stage number 3. I'm back. Main reason for it, admittedly, call myself out on this one, is I have a very limited time frame in which to record right now, and actually, to be fully honest with you, I have a tour today for my business coming up in a little while. Somebody's coming through, and I've got to be available for that. So I figured I'll give you what content I can to finish this episode off while I can. And, at least I could show you stage 2 and hopefully stage 3 as well, at least quickly. It looks like I very well could win this race. With 2 sprint stages, there's not much action to be had, and we are definitely going as fast as we can towards the end. Now, let's go ahead and up the pace a little bit as we're down to the final 23K. While doing so, the more exciting part, besides the final couple of K themselves, is going to be the prospect of, well, what's going on in the world of cycling. Of course, we last week had the sad news of the passing of Björk Lambrecht, but this week, better stuff, as I myself anyway, one of these were a week ago. It was actually before Lambrecht had passed away, the first part of this, the other part just in the last couple of days, but I was watching the Ride London Classic and the Classique, the women's race, as well as the European Championships. I've got limited coverage on all of that. Actually, it's a lot better. I had 0 coverage of either of those races prior to this year, so that's progress. We're getting somewhere. But anyway, one of those in particular stood out for a very exciting finish. Very exciting finish, and not entirely good the way it ended up. Now, let's see. What do I have? Sprint? Anything? Sprint? Looks like Downey is a sprinter. Alifacci could definitely. He's got some speed. You're going to give me a push. Push, push, push. Down to 7K. Let's stay. How you doing, guys? There we go. Everybody in position. Good, 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 good. 5K to go. Anyway, the Ride London Classique. That's the one I want to discuss. We're going to wrap up these last 4 kilometers, though, and then we're going to keep on pushing right on into the next stage. So in that, I will continue that discussion as we push through very quickly through that next stage as well. Here, I'm mostly just going for the best lead out I can get to make sure I don't lose time. But if we can squeeze a top 3, since I do have a slight capability in a sprint, we do what we can. I'm so glad I hit pause and not tried to click on the next guy and done it all at once, because every time you drop a rider, boop, shuffles everybody up, and it always does it at the most inopportune time. So Alifacci giving himself a good lead out here, but of course he's now out of energy. How far back? I got held out behind a bit there. That's definitely not going to be a top 3. Making my way back up, but only really overtaking, one rider? Gate? Gate's the only one I'm getting past on this. Maldonado, Van Dilsen, Nasser Bouhanni, 3rd, Greipel, 4th, Bonifazio there in 7th. I took 12th. The Ride London Classique, if you have not seen it, it ended up being a very intense race. So that was the women's race. It was in the heart of London, short circuit, where the way they had it set up was kind of neat, because so many of the races these days, right, you end up riding for, well, and I do it here in the game all the time, it's 180 kilometers. You end up just riding comfortably for 160K, and then you turn it on for 20K, and that's the race. It was shorter, so that already increased the intensity. But they had prize money, more than what you would normally have. Sprint points and on top finishes, and almost there, 17 points. I should get it as long as we're still hanging on to our position at the end of this race, even if we somehow drop a position here in stage number 3. Anyway, every, I don't know, fourth lap or something like that, they had a sprint competition, and it was enough prize money in it that the teams were really going for it. So no breakaway ever truly formed, truly got established. And so the entire peloton pushed and pushed the entirety of the race. That already increased the excitement level quite a bit, and it was fun to watch. And then those sprints were very much contested. The top few riders that were the favorites for the overall, they didn't participate in those intermediate sprints, but they would send their top lead-out rider or maybe their third sprinter as the go-to and then use the rest of the sprint train. And so you saw basically sprint finish after sprint finish after sprint finish on intermediate sprints. Highly contested, the way you see that a little bit in the early stages of the Tour de France as they're fighting for that green jersey on those intermediate sprints, trying to pick up points here and there. But even to a higher level, as they full-on finished it off, and unlike, say, Peter Sagan in the Tour de France, who had so many points otherwise, that he just knew he could be 1 or 2 places down from these guys, lose 1 or 2 points to them, but then get those points elsewhere, especially on the kind of stages where those guys were unable to keep up with him, and he gets to the end and picks up a ton of points, and they've got nothing that stage. Final stage, get in our position, nice little +2 today. That'll make it easy to wrap up. Can you slide up just a little bit for me, please? Thank you. That's a good spot. We'll sit on. And here we go. So speed up, final stage, 190k. So fighting those intermediate sprints made it exciting. Never having a breakaway with a high pace throughout the race made it exciting. The unfortunate but also exciting part to the stage ended up being where at the end of the race, in the final kilometer, bunch sprint, coming down to it, and I'm sorry I've forgotten names. It's been over a week since I watched this, and there's been so little coverage of the women's tour that I still only know a half dozen names, and this was not one of the names that I've got memorized off the top of my head. But anyway. A Dutch rider was in the middle of the pack, and she was definitely one of the favorites to win the sprint. She was probably 5th, 6th wheel overall. She had a good position, but suddenly her clear path closed, and she didn't have anywhere to go, and she knew it was time to turn on her sprint. So she went from the middle of the pack to the left-hand side of the pack in one very, very quick movement, leaving her line. And in doing so, she cut right across another rider. Her rear wheel hit their front wheel. She may not have even noticed the contact, though I would think she probably did. Either way, she had no idea the chaos that she caused behind her, though, in doing so. That rider who she cut across, of course, if you know anything about bikes, the rear wheel locked in. The front wheel, that's the one attached to your handlebars, and it swivels side to side. So when she came across the front wheel, she opened that rider's bike right up. Down they went, of course going at full speed for the sprint. And what it did was when that rider went down, her bike flipped to the side. So you had rider and bike. And she collected the riders behind her in the near vicinity. And we saw a domino effect that I've never seen to this extent. I've seen plenty of big crashes. Plenty. I've seen nasty crashes. Horrible crashes. I mean, the crash that unjustly eliminated Peter Sagan from the Tour de France 2-3 years ago with Mark Cavendish. He was blamed for it when it was really, 30% his fault and 70% Cavendish. No, wait, hold on. Let me take that back. 30% his fault, 50% Cavendish, and 20% just bad luck. Unfortunate for him, he was blamed in that matter and disqualified from the race before they really had a chance to see the correct angle that then put that 50% blame on Cavendish, where it was definitely more Cavendish's fault than Sagan. Both of them just took the wrong line at the wrong time, where they both ended up occupying the same space, and all he did, where they thought elbows were out, was just balancing, and he never made contact with Cavendish. But anyway, that ended up a really bad crash. I've seen plenty like it. I did not see Chris Froome's recent crash, that of course had to have been an awful crash to do the damage that it did to him, going into a wall at the speed he was going. But I've never seen a domino effect, chain reaction crash like this one that literally covered the entire road left to right. Now, I've seen the entire road get blocked in a couple of ways before, but it was either in a skinnier situation, like climbing, mountains with the crowd completely compact inside, and you've only got enough width for maybe 2 bike riders, so somebody goes down and the road's blocked. I remember that crazy finish where one of the Yates brothers, was it the 1 kilometer to go banner, maybe the 5K to go banner, came down right in front of him and pretty much on top of him, and it completely blocked the road, and that was chaos. But this was a wide road that was completely wide open, that had plenty of space, and one rider going down, collecting the riders next to them, and that always gets wider. But you see half the road covered. But somehow, this one just kept funneling and getting wider and wider and wider as the bikes kept shooting out to the side and out to the side and out to the side, and everybody's coming full speed, full gas, fighting for the win, for the finish, in that acceleration, in that moment. And it just kept getting bigger, and it literally went edge to edge of the road and stopped the race behind them. Now, the rider who started that, who, again, sadly, I can't remember her name, but the Dutch rider who started that crash, that chain reaction, who was about 6th wheel, she cut to the left, found space, sprinted to the win. That was the other crazy part about it, was she ended up winning the race. But of course, the way that she left her line, and the way that she caused that total chaos behind her, she ended up being disqualified. And so that filtered to the back, adding to the chaos. But oh my goodness, it was such an exciting race. It was an exciting finish, and then it was a chaotic finish. And then the disqualification to the race winner who caused that chaos. Just all of it fed the excitement. That was one of the most incredible races that I've seen in such a long time. So if you have not seen that one, the Ride London Classique. The Classic was a men's race. It was a good race too. But the Classique the women's race was freaking awesome. And there is definitely something to be had in the idea, as we come up on the final 9K here, there's definitely something to be had in the idea that shorter stages create more excitement. I mean, it's always been the concept: the longer, the harder, the better, the more the endurance is there, and you still got to have it. But the way it is now, these shorter, more intense, especially like those climbing stages, just wow. What they do is just wow. Alright, so where is Downey? You're in a good spot. Alifachi's still back here. Alifachi, come on. Myself, come on, please. Let's get up there so we can contest, 10th place. Liz Day. Yes, Liz Day, you're gonna take over, and you're gonna go 99, and Alifachi's gonna follow you, because Downey's done. 3K. Here we go. Liz Day, sprint. Boy, he is not lasting long. That was 600 meters. We still have 2K to go. Alifachi. He's also running out of energy way too early, 1.2K, and I am already tired. We do have a little breakaway here, though. We've got a little break. And it's over, but it's going to help me get better than a top 10. Bonifazio takes the win, Gessner second, Nasser Bouani third again, and I take 6th. Cool. Okay, quickly finish, and I definitely need to go. Anyway, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. Check it out. It is good. Ta-da! Make sure we got the overall. Check our points. There it is, by 11 seconds. Maldonado second. Sweeney takes 4th. Alifachi 6th. Shupa 9th. Nice. Yay, yay, yay. We leveled up. Just a skill point this time. And we will take... We got a fitness peak coming. And it's going to take 2 levels of training before we really see a benefit there. So let's go ahead and go into the fitness peak. And that is done. And our points have got to be looking pretty good at this point. We are 4th in the Continental rankings, and in the Super Prestige, 88th with 283. Nice. I like it. I like it. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.